Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to delve into our next presenter. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Chieko Yokota, Gender Specialist, Gender Equality Division, Asian Development Bank.
Good morning everyone, and magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. First of all, thank you so much for having me and ADB, Asian Development Bank, to be part of such a wonderful event. It has been so inspiring to listening to the panelists, and I myself has been very much encouraged. And I really echo what the speakers have said. As a woman, we come across with a lot of barriers, but we have to support each other, and we also have a lot of men allies to support us. And while I was listening to the panelists, I was also recalling myself. I'm originally from Japan, and I come from a very rural, traditional, and conservative community. And I wanted to go to the university in Tokyo. I thought that it will give me a lot of opportunities, but my father and my grandparents didn't want me to. They said that you can just go to the university in the province. But it was my mom who supported me to my endeavor. And without her support, I wouldn't have been standing here today. And unlike you all, maybe I'm the only one in this huge conference room that doesn't have a specialty in tourism. Since the day one in my career, I've been working in the development field. But personally, I really love traveling. Mahilig ako mag-travel. So this is my first time visiting Bohol. First time I visited here with my, at that time it was my boyfriend, and now it's my husband. And I came here with my mom and my friend. And the next time I would like to bring my children, who hasn't been here yet. So I believe that women also play a significant role as a tourist. And I'm determined to play that role personally, and of course, in addition to our work to support our development member countries in advancing gender equality. So today, I would like to walk you through about the ADB's work on gender equality, and I will also share with you some good examples in the tourism sector. So ADB, Asian Development Bank, is a multilateral development bank with its headquarters based in the Philippines, Manila. And we are working with 43 developing member countries and partners in Asia and the Pacific by providing loans, technical assistance, grant, and equity investments. ADB's vision is to promote social and economic development for prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable Asia and Pacific, while sustaining its efforts to eradicate extreme poverty. So our journey of gender work goes back more than 2 decades. And the first policy on gender and development has been developed back in 1998. And we accelerated progress in gender mainstreaming since then. And like many other development agencies, we have had a gender mainstreaming approach for many years. This is to integrate gender perspectives into all our operations. Because we know that we cannot achieve inclusive and sustainable development without consciously investing in women and integrating gender perspectives to all the development sectors we work. And that is why under Strategy 2030 at the bottom, gender equality is one of the 7 priority pillars. Apology about the text-heavy slide. You may need glasses to look at this slide, and apology for that. But under the operational priority 2, accelerating gender equality, we have 5 pillars. So the first pillar is women's economic empowerment. So this is really to provide the access to job and entrepreneurship opportunities. And the second pillar is gender equality in human development. This is about education, health, and also gender-based violence is included under this pillar. And the third is gender equality in decision-making and leadership. As the panelists have already discussed, increasing the women in managerial role in leadership positions is very important. And we also work to enhance the regulatory and policy frameworks so that women will have more voices. And the fourth pillar is women's time poverty reduced. So this is to make sure that infrastructure is built in a gender-responsive manner to reduce the time burden of women, and also to provide access to quality child and elderly care services. And the fifth pillar is, this is really important for us as a climate bank in the Asia. And this is to provide the climate and disaster resilient infrastructure and crisis responding social assistance system dedicated for women and girls. So ADB's gender mainstreaming system covers all the aspects of project cycle, starting from designing, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. So it starts from the gender analysis to identify entry points, to reduce gender gaps, and how we can empower women. And we develop a gender action plan as a tool that specifies gender activities with concrete indicators that demonstrate narrowing gender gaps, such as access to resources, skills, training, jobs, and which will be duly monitored throughout the project implementation. So we also focus on social norms and transformative approaches, such as gender-based violence and reducing the time poverty of women. And we also have an internal review system to ensure that impactful and strong gender interventions are integrated in the projects. And something that makes ADB distinct is that we have targets both at entry and at exit. So not just project design, but at the end of the project, we make sure that the gender results are achieved. And currently, ADB is the only multilateral development bank that do so. So there are overall principles, and these are translated into the gender categories. So all the ADB's private and public sector projects are categorized under one of these 4 gender categories. I'll start from the bottom, so no gender elements, but it doesn't mean that there is no gender elements. So there is community consultation with women, and there is also actions to mitigate the potential and negative risks against women within the environmental and social safeguard measures. But having said that, last year we had only 1 no gender element project. So that means that all the rest of the project integrated gender perspectives. And the second from the bottom is some gender elements. And this is the project that has at least 1 gender intervention and indicators. And the effective gender mainstreaming, large amount of our projects fall under this category. And with this category, the majority of project output indicators needs to be gender responsive. And the last one, the highest gender category is gender equity theme. And with this category, we have at an outcome level, dedicated and explicit indicator and intervention to address the gender gap and enhance gender equality. So we have gender mainstreaming tools and categorization system that are embedded across the project cycle. But what makes our approach really successful is that we have a lot of accountability system embedded. So under ADB Strategy 2030, we have a corporate target that 75% of our projects are gender mainstreamed. And we have surpassed this by achieving 99%. And also, as mentioned, so this means that this approach and process has already been really embedded into the DNA of the institution, and it's really systematized. And also, as mentioned, we have a target at exit, and 80% of completed projects deliver intended project gender results, and we also surpassed this target. So this is another form of accountability where we publish this publicly, the results. And so this is embedded in the institutions again, and this has become everyone's business in our institution, not just for us as a gender specialist or gender division. So now I would like to switch gear and focus on tourism and gender. So as this has been already discussed, but the tourism sector is relatively more women-friendly sector in a sense that women make up majority of its workforce. However, they concentrate on low-level employment, meaning lower pay and status jobs in tourism. And we also talked about the issue of the leadership. And also, majority of small tourism businesses are run as family businesses. So women have to bear a large amount of unpaid care work at their households, in addition to the work to support the family business. And women face higher risk of harassment and gender-based violence. Despite all these barriers, we see a lot of opportunities with tourism sector to accelerate gender equality. It is a growing industry, and more people are traveling in Asia and the Pacific, like myself. And since it interconnects closely with other sectors, such as transport, urban planning, waste management, and environment, so tourism sector can have a spillover positive effect across sectors. And also by addressing the gender barriers, tourism can advance women's leadership roles, create jobs through employment and entrepreneurship. So now I would like to share with you some of the ADB projects examples. And actually, the examples doesn't include the project in the Philippines, and my apology in advance for that, but I just wanted to highlight that there are 2 new projects coming up in the Philippines, in Baguio and also in Palawan in the tourism sector. Yes. And we are very much excited about that. So this example is from Lao PDR, and this project has been recently approved, and it has achieved the highest gender category. So the project site is Luang Prabang, where it connects connects the China and Thailand by rail in the northern Lao PDR's major tourism and transport hub. And the project aims to advance sustainable and inclusive urban development, including waste management, rehabilitation of road, development of public parks, and power distribution lines. So it's very comprehensive. And the project also developed gender-responsive urban master plan, incorporating 15-minute city principles. So these principles means that people can move within 15 minutes to the daily necessities like schools, health centers, and shopping centers by walk or by cycling or by public transport. And the project also applies affordable waste collection tariffs for women in low-income and vulnerable households. And what makes this project distinct is that it has a dedicated outcome for women's leadership and employment. So the project provides scholarship for female officials in tourism, water, sanitation, and public works. And it also provides the vocational training for female tourist workers and entrepreneurs on food safety, heritage tour guiding, foreign language, and digital skills. And it will also establish women-led creative industries business development network with improved childcare and family care services. So this project is designed to address the wide spectrum issues of women in quite an extensive manner and help them equip with skills, expertise, and resources to grow themselves as professionals and entrepreneurs in the tourism sector. So the next example is from Fiji. So we also work a lot with private sector by helping a client build a mechanism to be more gender responsive, whether it's within the institutional level, to make their own working environment more gender responsive through policies and setting targets, and also to support them to deliver their services and products in more gender responsive manner. So during the COVID crisis, ADB provided a liquidity support to Fiji Airways to sustain its business during the difficult time. With this project, Fiji Airways introduced a new cadet program for female pilots. So, by the time they came up of the COVID crisis, they already had a number of female pilots. And Fiji Airways also committed to increase women in technical and management roles in the company. It also set out and developed gender-inclusive policies, promoting women's participation in its workforce and family-focused violence policy. So with this project, the willingness of senior management was really a key in pushing this agenda. And this example shows that how we can work with the private sector and leverage its partnership to advance women's leadership and employment. So this is the last example, and I would like to talk about the tourism project in Lao, PDR, and Vietnam, which achieved a lot of positive impacts on gender equality. The first phase has been ended, but the second phase is currently going on. So from the evaluation of the project was rated as highly successful in terms of gender results. The project supported infrastructure development such as access road, tourist information centers, community market with sanitation and parking, and development of facilities in the national park. And the project also supported rural communities to develop community-based tours and community management tourist attractions. And through the project, women comprise the majority of the project beneficiaries. And women were trained on the community-based tourism and also small-scale hospitality management and sustainable tourism planning. And there has been also a seminar on gender-sensitive tourism awareness and anti-trafficking to prevent gender-based violence. And we did a series of interviews with the women beneficiaries at the end of the project. And we discovered that a lot of structural and transformative changes have happened with women's lives. So many women beneficiaries who started their own tourism businesses, such as a photographer in a national park, or a souvenir shop owner, a homestay business owner, or a professional weaver or of a traditional clothes. So they expressed that their status in family and the society has changed. It became stronger because they now have a control over family resources and they have better access to economic opportunities and they earn more income. So here, she's one of the beneficiaries of the project that I mentioned. And she earns income through operating a boat, transporting the tourists visiting national park. So what we want to see more through the project is women like her having more access to skills, resources, and knowledge, and to be able to earn their own income and empower themselves. We believe that the tourism sector can pave the way for women's economic empowerment and can transform women's lives in a significant manner. Thank you very much, and maraming salamat po.